Hey everyone! Welcome back to my channel. I just wanted to quickly pop on. This is the long-awaited faux Delfonics pouch tutorial. So if you caught my what's in my journaling pouch, my faux Delfonics journaling pouch, you would have known that I made a pouch that looks like the Delfonics pouch. Is actually right there. And I made it myself. And a lot of you have asked how I made it and if I'm going to make them to sell. And no, I'm not going to make any of them to sell, but I did mention that I might do a tutorial on how to create your own pouch. And so this is that tutorial. This is the tutorial. It's taken me a couple of days to film and create for you. So I hope it's a good one. I hope it's easy to follow. It is a long tutorial, so it's probably going to be broken up into 3 parts. The first part is going to be sort of like an overview of your supplies, what you're going to need, and then the sizing. I actually did create a PDF that you can go and purchase in my shop, and it's sort of like, it's a pattern. I've never created a pattern in my life, so it's like a sorter pattern. I don't know. But it will have all the dimensions to how to create this small pouch and how to create the big pouch, so both sizes. And so the first video is just going over your supplies, going over the sizing. The pouch that I'm going to create in this tutorial is going to be the small pouch, which is the A6 pouch, the A6 size pouch. This pouch right here is the A5 pouch, the A5 size pouch. But I'm going to create the smaller one since I've already did the big one for myself, and I figured it's the same, like all the steps to create both pouches are the exact same, it's just the sizing is different. And so the pouch that I will be creating in this tutorial will be the A6 pouch, which is the smaller sized pouch. But my PDF has sizing and all the pieces and all like the pattern pieces for both sizes of the pouch. So I will definitely leave a link down in the description box down below for you to check that out if you're interested in just grabbing that PDF. But you can do this without the PDF. You'll just have to do your own sizing. I do tell you the size that I'm making, so I told you the dimensions of the small pouch, but if you want to make the big pouch, you're just going to have to figure out how big you want to make your pouch. So that'll be the first part. The second part will be creating your different sizes, so your different little pieces that you need to create the pouch. And then the last part will be kind of putting all those different pieces together to sew the actual pouch together. So yeah, so 3 parts. It's a lengthy tutorial, and hopefully, I'm so hoping that it's easy to follow and that you can all understand what I'm doing and see what I'm doing and create your own pouch yourself. So yeah, that is this video and that is this little intro. I just kind of wanted to come on and tell you all of that because it is a lot of content that is coming up. And once you see this one, which is, we're going to go into the different supplies that you need and the sizing and everything, all of the videos should be up at around the same time, so you can see all parts back to back. So yeah, that is this little intro here. We'll get into the tutorial right now. I really hope you enjoy. So I wanted to go over the basic supplies that you'll need to create this pouch. I am creating the exact same pouch, which is this one that I have here, except I'm going to make it the smaller version. So this is the A5 version that I showed in my what's in my journaling pouch video. That was the A5 version, but this one that I'm going to do is the A6 version, which is the smaller version. So I'm going to just show you the supplies and then you can adjust the sizing and everything to whatever size pouch that you want. So I have all my stuff here. First, I want to mention that I do have a PDF up in my shop that has the exact measurements of every piece that I'm using to make this pouch. So forgive me, I printed it wrong on one side, but they're basically patterns. Good full disclaimer here, I've never created a sewing pattern in my life, so I don't know exactly how you would make one, but I figured if I just make a PDF with the sizing, like 2 sides, so that you can use this, you can cut it out and use it as a, as a template. So that is what I did. and I already cut up all my pieces. So I have a PDF. You can purchase it in my shop, and it'll have all of the templates for both the small size, which is the A6 size, and the large size, which is the A5 size pouch. And it'll have a list of all the supplies that you will need to create both pouches and all the dimensions for each of the pouches and everything. But for this tutorial video, I'm going to be creating the small pouch. So hopefully I've said that enough times that you won't get too confused. But yeah, I'm making the smaller pouch. But you can go ahead and follow along because everything's going to be the exact same, and just make the larger pouch with the larger dimensions. So yeah, so I'm using my little pattern printable here to make this pouch in the event that you go and purchase that PDF and want to follow along with the tutorial. You don't need to purchase the PDF. That is just for someone who likes to see everything written out as well as the video and want the exact measurements to the pouches that I've made. So what you'll need for making this pouch, of course, is your fabric. And so I have two fabrics here, and these are the exact same fabrics that I use to create the bigger pouch. It is canvas, and my canvas is like a craft canvas. Like it's not a thick sort of utility canvas. It's just a regular canvas fabric. I bought mine at Michael's. You can get them for you can get a yard and a half, and so that's what I have, and it's more than enough. Like, I think if you get a yard of canvas, you can make at least 2 big pouches out of it, maybe even more. It's just a lot of fabric, and you don't really need a lot of fabric for this project, but that's what I have here. And then of course I have the same fabric that I used for the lining. I had about a little more than a half a yard of this, and I still have all this fabric left over. I get my fabrics, like these really nice patterny fabrics. I normally buy them from fabric.com or fatquartershop.com or shabbyfabrics.com, and I will be sure to leave all those links in the description box down below, and of course it'll be in the PDF if you go ahead and purchase the PDF. I'll have all those links, but that's usually where I get my pattern fabrics. Sometimes I'll get them at like Joann's and Hobby Lobby if I see something that I like, but generally I get all of my cotton linen fabrics from one of those 3 shops online. And so this one happens to be a Robert Kaufman fabric, and it was designed by Darlene Zimmerman. I don't remember. Oh, it says it right here. The collection is Eaton Place. I don't know if you can see that. The collection is Eaton Place. So if you want to go searching the internet for this particular design, that is what it is. And yeah, so that is my lining, and I'm basically just making the same pouch but smaller because I thought about changing it up a little bit, but I was like, you know what? Let me just keep it consistent. So I have the big pouch and then the little pouch. So you will need your fabrics. I would suggest having a yard of the canvas and a half a yard of the inner fabric in case you make a mistake. You have enough, because I'm telling you, if you don't make a mistake while doing this, you will have so much fabric left over that you can use it for other things or make more pouches. So I think that's a good safe, even if you want to just get half a yard of both, I think that's good safe. It's like your, safe bet. So I want to say something about the fabric. So when you use a canvas fabric, and this is just a regular cotton linen, it is kind of floppy. Like if you saw my video, my pouch here, it has a structure, and when you fill it up, it'll have structure, but it's very soft and very flexible and very floppy. And I'm pretty sure the original Delfonics pouches aren't that floppy. I feel like their canvas is a bit thicker. It's probably more of a utility canvas, so that is something to think about when you go and choose your fabrics, is if it'll have a structure. If you want a structure of your pouch, some people are fine with having the floppiness of a pouch and then filling it up, and when you fill it up, it has the structure. Other people like to have something structured to begin with, so it's all personal preference what sort of fabric quality, like the thickness of the fabric that you want to use. If you end up using a canvas like this for the lining and the outside, your pouch is going to have a bit more structure because those pieces, when you put them together, will be just a little bit thicker than this and this. But yeah, that is definitely something to think about when you're picking out your fabrics, especially the outer fabric, the outer canvas fabric, is if you want it to have a bit more structure, you might want a thicker canvas than what I have here. And again, this fabric was from Michaels, so I just used, when I made that first pouch, whatever I had on hand. I literally did not. I only went to the store to get a zipper because that is all I needed. I needed a zipper that coordinated with this, and I originally purchased this zipper, but I will tell you when we go over the zippers that this is a little too small for the bigger pouch that I made. So I had to go to Joann's, which I have to like literally drive to a different state to go to a Joann's, so to get a zipper, and that was literally the only thing that I purchased for that pouch project that I did. So use what you have on hand. It's fine as long as you are okay with the flimsiness of the pouch. Or you can try putting like a stiffener in between the lining and the canvas if you want. That's just you're just adding an extra layer in between the fabrics, and that's cool too. So you'll need your fabrics, and other things that you'll need a zipper, of course, because you need the zipper on the top. And this, I picked up this zipper initially at Michael's because literally that is the only sort of craft store that I have here in New York City. So I picked this one up, and it is an all-purpose polyvalent, or yeah, it's a polyester zipper, and of course it's that pink that matches perfectly. I got mine a 14-inch, so I think for the big pouch you would want a 14-inch. For the small pouch, I think you can go for a 12-inch, so anywhere between a 12 and 14-inch zipper would work for, I think, both pouches. Again, it depends how big you want the pouch, but for my big pouch, I used a 14-inch zipper, and this one I'm going to use this 14-inch zipper. Now, you want a zipper that looks like this. Let's see if I can take this out. That the zipper opens up like this. It's not hidden or anything. Now this track is really small, and if you see my pouch, let me just take this out, my pouch zipper here, the track is a bit wider. It's a bit wider than this one. And you kind of want one like this because that's like a standard for these sorts of pouches. But again, I have this on hand, and I really can't afford to go all the way to Joann's again for this tutorial. So I'm just going to use this and do the smaller pouch. And I think this will be sufficient for a smaller pouch, but you definitely need a zipper with a wider track. But yeah, so you need a zipper. And again, 12 to 14-inch zipper will do. And if you have a longer zipper, you can always cut it down. But if you have a shorter zipper, you can't really cut, you're kind of stuck. But so it doesn't really matter if it's a little too long, you can always chop it up, cut it down, and sew it into place. But yeah, so you want a zipper. And again, I got this one at Michael's. So if the Michael's is closer to you, Michael's, or Joann's, I got the other one at Joann's. And they're like really cheap, so yeah, so you need a zipper, your fabric, your zipper. You need a ruler. I have a ruler here, especially if you're not going to use my little templates. You definitely need a ruler. And I have here a scissor. I actually use two scissors. I have a bigger scissor, but I just pulled this one out. You will need pinking shears, maybe, if you want. My big pouch, if you remember, had that beautiful, cute little scallopy edging on the inside, and I did that with these pinking shears, and mine are scalloped pinking shears. You don't have to do that. I just did it because it was cute, it looked cute, but it also prevents the fabric on the inside from fraying some more, so that's an option if you want to like do that. I have here some thread, so get whatever thread. I actually have more canvasy color thread on my sewing machine already, but I have some white thread in case I run out of the other one. You want your pins, so I have an assortment of pins, sewing pins in here. I have a glue stick here because I use that when I kind of glue. For these pieces, you're going to have to make like a seam So you're gonna have to we're gonna have to fold this in and then sew that down. And so I like to glue that down a little bit first and then run it through my sewing machine because it's easier to hold it down instead of using pins. It's just too much. So I have a glue stick here, and of course my favorite glue stick is the Prima Planner glue pens. Love these glue sticks. They're so good. So I have that here, my pins, and then I have a walking foot. So you're going to need your sewing machine, obviously, but you're also going to need a walking foot. This is a foot that you change out the other normal basic foot. I don't even know what that one was called. You know, the one that's always on the sewing machines. And you're going to put this in because we're going to be sewing through a lot of fabric, and your normal foot is just not going to sew. It's just not. You're going to have a really hard time sewing through all the layers of fabric with that foot. So walking foot lets you sew through multiple pieces of fabric, and especially thick fabric, because it moves around as you're pushing the fabric through. So if your sewing machine has a walking foot, I suggest you using it. So I'm going to be using mine, and I'll tell you when I switch to it, because in the beginning when we're making the seams and everything like that, I'm going to use my regular foot. But when I get into the more complex of sewing the actual pieces all together and stuff like that, I'm going to switch to my walking foot. So if you have a sewing machine that has a walking foot, pull it out. If you don't really know how to use your sewing machine that well, like I didn't, I had to learn like what this was and how to put it on, find out how to put it on. And yeah, so this is like really important. It's really key. And the other thing that you're going to need is like an iron. I'm not going to bring my iron out here to show you, but if your fabric is wrinkly and you want like sort of the smooth lines and stuff like that, like, you know, I might want to iron that before I sew my pieces together. Definitely you're going to need an iron. And I think that's about it. I believe that is all that I have. Scissors, of course, like a pencil or like an erasable pen so you can do your markings, and I think that's it. If I'm forgetting anything, it's, you know, I'm going to remember while I'm actually making the pouch here, but I do have a list in the PDF that'll be the complete list of supplies that you'll need. So that is basically all the supplies that you will need to get started. And so the first thing that I wanted to, I guess, now share is the pieces, the sizing, the pieces of everything to make this pouch. So how I created this pouch, of course, is I don't know how to do anything. I make stuff up as I go along. And so what I initially did, I did some sketches for like the first one, and I sort of sketched out what the Delfonics pouches look like. And so in the PDF that I made for myself and for you all, if you want to go ahead and purchase it, I did like sort of basic templates or graphics of what everything is. So this is literally the front of the pouch and the back of the pouch. So this front face and this back face, and then the inside will be this. So if you want two pockets on the inside, you'll have this on this side, and then you'll have it on this side as well. So that's the front, the back, and the inside. And then I broke them down into pieces. So this base piece here is going to be this big old piece here. So since I'm doing a small, the A6 size, I measured my papers to be 8 inches by 6 inches, and I cut 2 pieces, like I have the instructions here. I cut 2 pieces out of the outer canvas fabric and 2 pieces out of the inner lining fabric. And literally, I kind of left like a little, it doesn't have to be exact because this measurement already has the seam allowance. I do like a 1/4 inch seam allowance throughout. So this is going to be a smaller pouch, obviously. But so it doesn't really matter to me that this is all not correctly sized. This is just a guide that you're going to use. And so you're going to cut 2 pieces out of the canvas and 2 pieces out of the lining, because this is going to be the base piece for the front and the base piece for the back. And then these guys are going to be the base pieces for the inside on both sides. So if you want to pull the puzzle together, it's going to be like that. Right? So you need these 4 pieces, and these are your base pieces, right? And so those are those pieces there. And again, I cut them out 6 by 8, so 8 inches wide and 6 inches, I guess, tall, because it's going to stand like that. So that's those pieces there. And so those 2 are the base pieces. And now piece B is this piece here, which is technically this whole piece here. And so that, what I have, measures out to 8 inches, of course, and 4 inches high. And so what I did was I cut out, I think I cut out 3 pieces. So I cut out the front. Now the front pieces here, when you do these pockets on the front, they don't need a lining. I mean, you can put the lining if you want, but I don't. So that's those pieces. Again, they're a bit wider. It doesn't really matter because you're going to sew. You need that allowance. So those are those pieces for the front and the back. And then I made one for the inside, because this inside piece F is also the same size piece, right? And I only made one because in this one I did a boo-boo, and I only made one side with the pockets, and I forgot the other side with the pockets. And I'm fine with that. For the smaller pouch, since it's smaller, I didn't want to kind of, crowd it with too many pockets on the inside. So I'm going to do the same thing and put just the one pocket on the inside. So I only cut out that one piece for the inside pocket. But so those 3 pieces will be this piece here, which is piece B for the front and back, and then piece F for the inside. And so that's those pieces. And so those are all the pieces for the inside pocket. It's just that piece F and then that base piece. For the outside, you want to make the 3rd pocket. And so the front has the pens here and the 2 pockets, and the back just has the 2 pockets. And so that's piece C, and piece C is this one. And so this, for the small, measures out to be 8 inches by 3 inches. And so of course I cut 2 pieces out, one for the front and one for the back, out of those sizes there, and those will turn into the pockets in the front and the back. And so that's basically what you need to make the front and the back panels. And literally, once we sew these pieces together, we'll have the front and the back already finished. And the tricky part, well, the inside too, but the tricky part is putting it all together. And so to do that, you need 2 other pieces. How I made mine, I made a piece going this way, and then the bottom piece wrapping around this way. And so, of course, I have a thing for that here. So this is the diagram for the top. This is how it's supposed to look, okay? Of course, this is not to scale because this is an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, but I put here that you're going to measure this out 17 inches, and then this is to scale as 2.5 inches. But yeah, I think I ended up cutting mine 3 inches because I gave myself a little bit more allowance, but it should be 2.5. So 2.5, 3. But yeah, so this needs to be 17 inches long. So you need to cut out a piece. You need to cut out 2 pieces of this top piece out of your canvas. So this is the 17 inches long, and then you need to cut out 2 more for the lining. So this is the top and the bottom pieces. The top one looks like this because we're going to actually cut in the middle to put the zipper in. And then the bottom piece is just a straight, the same piece here. And I'm sorry that this looks sort of weird because I messed up printing on one side, but it's very clear. It's very clear when you don't do that, when you don't double side print and you mess up. But yeah, so I say here this is the bottom and top pieces. So this is the say that's the top and that's the bottom, and then this is the lining for the top and the lining for the bottom. That's basically what this is. So you're just cutting out 2 pieces of the canvas for the top and the bottom, and 2 pieces of the lining for the top and the bottom. And for the small pouch, they are 17 inches wide, like long, and about 2.5 to 3 inches. I think mine are a little short of 3 inches width-wise for that. And so those are the pieces for the top and the bottom, and literally you can see it here. We're gonna like sew it like that, and then the other one is going to be sewn like this, and of course we're gonna cut that one open so that we can put in the zipper. So those are the pieces there. Now there are other little pieces that I didn't really make little templates for finishing off the pouch, and I'm going to show you that with my actual big pouch here. One is this little pole here, which you can just get any little piece of scrap, you know, that you have in whichever color. I have this one that already has the print, and we're literally just gonna probably sew this together like that, and then inside out it so that it's like a little band like this, and then we're just gonna fold it, and when we're sewing our pieces together, we're just gonna tuck it into that and sew it into that and make a little thing. And so I'll go over in this video on, you know, how to do that. And then we're gonna do these little decorative things, which again is just pieces of this. So it's one piece like this, well, 2 pieces, because you need for both sides of the lining, and then 2 pieces of the canvas, and you're going to sew that together, and then when you're putting down the zipper, you're going to just put it there like that. And again, I will show you how to do that in the tutorial, but I didn't make little templates for those things, because those things are they are, oh my god, what's the word? You'll figure out the sizing of those once you've made the top part. So I can't really like say what the sizing will be based off of my little templates there, because once you sew, you might give like a bigger sewing allowance, seam allowance, so this part will probably shrink a little and stuff like that. So I'm gonna wait and just kind of wing that in the tutorial once I have those pieces all sewn up. But for the base pieces, those are all the base pieces that you will need to have cut out before you can start your pouch.